YouTubers, what is up? It is Vinny Chill here again with Chris. Chris, how you doing out there?
Doing good, man. What's up?
Doing all right for a Friday night. We are live with you tonight. There's been a little bit of an absence. We've been busy enjoying our summers, as I'm sure you guys out there have been as well. So we wanted to sneak in an episode tonight while we had some time. Chris and I have been talking to you in the past about doing something X-Men related. So we're here tonight to talk about a little something we're calling X-Men Unappreciated Potential. So, Chris, I know you've got some slabs. I don't have any actually, so I think that's a good mix. A couple of these books we might have talked about in the past, but I think for the viewers out there, this is a lot of good stuff. X-Men is still a hot commodity. You were just telling me a little bit about the retraction kind of in the comic market, but the X-Men are definitely coming to the MCU, so these books are never going to fall too far down. So there's got to be some books out there that you might want to buy that haven't reached their potential, or buy them now while they might have retracted a little bit. And yeah, what are your thoughts on the whole thing?
I think we're seeing not across the board. Obviously, there's some movie news and things coming out here or there. As we know, it spikes books. You have $5 book becomes a $50 book, uh, depending on what Kevin Feige says. Um, Basically, though, I think that there's been, even with the high grade books and big blue chip keys, I think we're seeing a market correction. I don't know if the baseball card guys are dumping some books. Maybe now people are actually getting back into some big shows. We're seeing what's actually on the wall, and people are starting to take into account things like eBay fees, stuff like that. Uncle Sam's going to be taking, I think, a bigger cut in a short amount of time. I don't know what's really driving it, but I think people are just myself, and I think you're doing the same thing. I mean, at Terrificon and other things, I was kind of taking a break looking for really big bucks because 10%
Well,
of
with the exception
$1,000.
of one, yeah.
Yeah, but 10% on $1,000 is $100. It's not nothing. It definitely gets you into something else decent, or a couple little nice little spec books, or a nice big run out of a dollar box. So it depends on your motivations and things like that, and how quickly you want to flip. But I think there's still value in the X-Men. They are coming. We know what's happening. Um, yeah.
Hey, we froze, which shouldn't really happen because I'm using the main line here, the hard line, but we froze for a second there. So yeah, I think we got audio, but we got one viewer out there now, so apologies if we froze for a second there. But Chris, without further ado, why don't you jump in and start with the books?
All right. The dangers of doing it live. Here's one I got this last week on Free Comic Day. Shout out to Next Generation here on Long Island. X-Men 121. A lot of spec around Alpha Flight. I say go get these books now. Outside of Vindicator, man, 109 is kind of a fortune. I know it's Weapon X, a lot of Wolverine spec. But I like 121. This is kind of what was available. I do like the cover better than 120, which is the cameo of Alpha Flight and all these characters. I mean, I just feel like you can't go wrong. A lot of first appearances, Weapon X connection, Canadian connection. And this has been a wall book kind of for a long time. I say go grab it. Happy to have it in the PC, and they're just getting harder and harder to find.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know I went out and got, I don't have that book, but I do have Alpha Flight 1, 2, 3. I've been trying to snap those up wherever I can find them because, yeah, they're supposed to have their own little series and maybe they make it into the mainstream at some point. But, yeah, definitely nothing really since the X-Men cartoon show in the early 90s as far as Alpha Flight being super relevant, in my opinion. So that's exciting. I will also go with start off with an older book, and actually I'll take it back really old. I briefly mentioned this book in a previous episode, but I think it's worth bringing out again. This is X-Men number 14, and it's the first Sentinels. So, classic cover there, stalking their prey. Now, obviously, you had the Days of Future Past, so Sentinels have already been in the movies. Haven't seen them yet in the MCU, but when they do come in, I think they could be utilized a lot because they're basically, once the mutants make their debut, they're going to be constantly out there. I think whether it's Genosha or somewhere else. Um, but this cost me, I want to say I got this from, shout out to Next Generation as well. I got this at 2018 New York Comic Con, I believe. And at that point, it was around $100. Now, I think it's not in the greatest shape. I'd say it's probably like a 3, maybe 3.5, but it's definitely worth more than that at this point. And it's just a classic book, a classic cover. I don't think we've seen the end of the Sentinels, so again, undervalued property.
I think so. It has spiked, but I think we'll see it come down. I doubt the Sentinels are going to be the first big villains. And just going with, since you mentioned Days of Future Past, I told you these are, and you saw me get these recently, so 141, am I doing that right? 141 and 142 Days of Future Past. Just iconic covers for X-Men books. Basically, we have first appearance of Pyro, first appearance of Avalanche in these, a couple other little minor first appearances in 141. I mean, I think that these books the prices are soft on these. Iconic covers. I mean, great for the wall. I don't see it necessarily happening anytime soon in the MCU, but the movie wasn't terrible, but for the Fox version. But just where do you get iconic X-Men covers for decent price these days? And both of these books ended up getting $292. I mean, well under $200. I want to say they cost me like somewhere 100, 100 and a quarter, about somewhere in that neighborhood. Again, very soft right now in the market. I'd say go grab them now. Those 9.8s have spiked, but you can. I'll settle for a 9.92 if the price is right. Just more money to spread around.
Right. Yeah. And
what do you got?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna stick to a little bit of the old stuff. I'm gonna go with this book here, number 49. Now, I took a gamble when I bought this a while back. This is the first Polaris, and this I think is a pretty awesome cover. I mean, you see her there, you see Angel there, front and center. But the market really, dictates, and 50, which has Polaris really on full display on the cover. And actually, that's Jean Grey, never mind. Polaris is on the cover of 50. And that's the one now that everyone, is the one to get. Polaris is the newest member of the X-Men team. She jumped from X-Factor to X-Men, and she's in the current run that's just started underway after Planet Size X-Men. So she's, I guess, already had a bump, but again, everyone seems to be going after 50, and this technically is her first appearance. So while everyone's going after 50, I think this book is definitely still very affordable, like under $100 in decent condition. So I would go grab this one because I think Polaris is going to be around for a while, and who knows, because she's a really popular right now in the comics, maybe when they bring them into the MCU, she'll be in that first X-Men team that starts in the MCU. Who knows?
A really solid character, and she's no longer a trainee. So,
well, she was the fan. That's the other thing too. Like the fans did it. Like I did actually. I think it was Vinny Chill's Nugget of Wisdom number 2, where I talked about the closing of the poll that was on Twitter. Marvel had, and they left it up to the fans to decide who was going to be the newest member of the X-Men, and it was down to Polaris and Banshee, and the fans picked her. So clearly, she's popular.
Yep. No, absolutely. We'll see how it translates. we'll get a casting call maybe soon, and then the book goes nuts.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll see.
so speaking of trainee, I'm going back to the well of Deadpool. I got X Factor 8, which is the first, what is this? First Domino, like the actual appearance of Domino herself, not the
Not Vanessa.
copycat version.
Yeah.
This is Vanessa Carlisle, copycat in her true form, X-Force 19. So I just like both these books. I feel like both characters, they said Ryan Reynolds said they're probably going to start filming Deadpool in the new year. Both of these ladies stole the show. Fan favorites, Domino, Vanessa. Are they going to give Vanessa powers in the MCU? These books are, you can find these in the dollar bins, but it's probably $5 to $10. I think it's well worth the run. Covers are pretty sweet, just nice for the PC, and I think there's definitely some upside, and you can get them cheap. So,
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what else there really is to say there. So Zazie Beetz, really great.
killed it.
Yeah, she killed it, and definitely gonna be back for the next one. Morena Baccarin, loved
Killed
from or everything from way back in before Gotham. She's been in a ton of stuff. So just phenomenal, and gorgeous too. So hope to see them. I have those books as well, and I think they're definitely worth grabbing. I'm going to go, you did a little bit up north, Neighbors to the North, and so my next book is going to be the first battle between Wolverine and Sabretooth. So this is X-Men 212, Wolverine versus Sabretooth, round 1. Iconic cover there as well. And again, I don't think we actually pulled this book out during our Wolverine episode, but we definitely talked about Wolverine versus Sabretooth. You're going to see Wolverine, and I think at some point you're also going to see Sabretooth. So all those books. And I have a few other ones. There's like the first cover of the two of them fighting, which is it might be the very next issue, 213 or somewhere in the two teens right there. So that's another book to go grab too while you're at it.
Right. As we go through and the books fight, first appearance, second appearance, origin, now the first meeting of, the first battle of. Some of those books, it's not just the iconic covers, like, Bing vs. Hulk. A lot of those other covers and just storylines are starting to pop.
Right.
So, and that's got both going for it. So, yeah, great pick. All right, I got my last book here, another slab. X Factor 24.
It's your last book already?
That's it. Archangel, man. I don't know. Just kind of, loved them in the X-Force, the Clayton Crane run. Loved all what they did with them in the Jim Lee books. And, pretty slick Walt Simonson cover. I know he's got some cameos and things, I think, in 22, 23, maybe one earlier, as he becomes a Horseman of Apocalypse. I just like this book. I got this 9.6 for under $100. I don't think you can go wrong. Again, nice X book to put on the wall with whatever you got going, some Funko Pops, whatever. Get some old school Bowen statues, anything. But I think whenever you can get a decent book like that for under $100, you're doing all right. So I'd say go for it. Undervalued at this point. And I think, they kind of did him again, but I think Marvel MCU could take this character and really run with him. And, man, I ain't getting X-Men #1 anytime soon. So it's the next best thing if you're really an Angel fan, Old Pigeon Wings is, gonna be doing something somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, they really, no offense to whoever played him in Apocalypse, but they really botched the character, I feel like. Ben Foster did a good job as Angel, but then when they brought him into Apocalypse and turned him into Archangel there, that just wasn't the Archangel I remember from the TV show and the comics and everything. So I hope they take another bite at the apple and do that again. And a little bit of trivia. That actually, well, you know this, but for the kids out there watching, that was the very first slab I bought. I think it was New York Comic Con 2015-ish. Very first slab I bought with you. And yeah,
I think,
got it.
Terrific
Oh, maybe it was. Yeah, actually, you're right. It might have been
That was
Terrificon.
there.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So definitely have that in the collection as well. I'm gonna breeze through a couple. Well, you mentioned Archangel and Horseman of the Apocalypse, the Angel of Death, Horseman of Death. I'm going to throw this one out. This is a new one. This is the Hickman run, X-Men 12. So we've got there on the cover the High Summoner. So we've got first appearance of a High Summoner, also first appearance of Iska the Unbeaten, who has managed to stick around after the Ten of Swords run story arc and still around in the recent books. And this also, though, features Genesis. This is the first appearance of Genesis, Apocalypse's wife. So I'm telling you all out there right now, I think when the X-Men come into the MCU, I think they're going to do the Hickman run. And that's going to be how it's going to be Hickman's X-Men that they introduce. And I wouldn't be surprised then if they bring in Apocalypse at some point. You're not going to not see his wife now that that's been established. So I think we're going to see Apocalypse again. I think we're going to see Krakoa. And yeah, and so I think she could play a part in, actually Iska could very well play a part too. So yeah, I think this is definitely a good book to get, and it might have gone up a little bit, not from, this was on my pull list, so you're not going to get it probably cover price anymore, but still definitely well within, range.
Yeah, man, I think we're going to see Apocalypse, and Abin Sur is going to probably tie in somehow to Ramatut or some iteration of Kang. I can definitely see that connection. It's not even a stretch at this point.
Yeah, no, that definitely is true. That is not a stretch at all. I'm just going to throw these up there. I'm not going to talk about them. I'm just going to say that this was covered during my haul video from Terrificon a couple weeks ago. She's coming again, Laura Kinney, and this is first appearance in the wrong hand. This is first appearance in the classic, Wolverine costume, and then you've got first meeting of her against the X-Men. So a couple of the books, I know I've talked about others, but these again are relatively cheap. You can get these both for around $15 or less each. So I think definitely all the X-23 stuff. If you can't afford the Nyx book, go out and scoop up these other stuff.
Gotta get that Nyx book, man. I'm missing it.
And you know what? I'll just I don't actually. I got two more quick ones, Chris.
Go for it.
Here you go. So this one, I've never read this. I just saw it there. Actually, I think I got this with you. Shout out to Eye Opener in Newington, Connecticut. I think I got this when you were up a month or so ago, and this is just classic battle between the X-Men and the Avengers. So don't know if this is going to play out or not, but if it does, I think this is going to spike in value for obvious reasons. And we froze again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Now we're back. We're back. All right.
See what's happening.
Last but not least, this is hot off the press. This is brand new. So, spoiler alert, poor Scarlet Witch, she's dead, and it looks like Magneto, her dad, could have been the one that killed her a couple months ago in the comics. So there is a 5-part story arc underway right now, The Trial of Magneto. Issue number 1 just came out. This is that special Art Germ variant cover, so just liked it because it's Art Germ and it's really cool. And yeah, so not to give away too many spoilers, but there's a lot of stuff that happened in Planet Size X-Men, and now you've got the death of Scarlet Witch, and now what's going on here. So again, I really think that they're going to take from this Hickman stuff, and even if he's not writing it, he's still the head of X at Marvel right now, and so he's in charge of pretty much everything has to get blessed by him to make it into the stories. So I think when it comes time to bring him into the MCU, all this Hickman stuff is going to be relevant, and that's what they're going to be pulling from for their source material. So I don't know. I would check your. I mean, it's on my pull list. I've been collecting it from the very beginning with Hickman, with the Powers of X, House of X, but it's been really good, and I'd grab them now. Look at Key Collector, grab some of those key issues during the Hickman run, because I think in the next couple of years that's going to be playing out on the big screen. But that's just my guess.
Definitely got potential, good as any other guess.
Yeah. So, you going to see Shang-Chi next week? Or 2
Yeah,
weeks?
see if the theaters are open. We're, gotta get a babysitter and we'll figure it out. But, yeah, I mean, hearing good things. I'm excited. I heard it, kind of kicks off the MCU again. So, yeah, just looking forward. I mean, Black Widow was solid. I don't know. I wasn't, all the stuff with Scarlett Johansson on the tail end, it kind of, I think, detracted from it a little bit. And basically we got a new Black Widow. We got, a new Captain America kind of running around the MCU as well. Or, well, two, I mean, depending on how you look at it. Talk about John Walker. So, we'll see. It's, I'm interested to see what kind of cameos and everything else they do and really get this next phase kicked off. It's going to be something else.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back again soon. We're going to talk some Eternals before that movie comes out. And again, we want to do some more Spider-Verse stuff before we've got No Way Home coming out at the end of the year. And I don't know. We're going to come up with some other themes for you guys. Of course, we'd love to hear from you. So send us a message, leave us a comment, give us your ideas. We haven't actually talked DC in a while. So if you want to hear more about that or more indie stuff, definitely still, I'm reading some indie stuff. Chris, I know you are too. So, you guys want to hear about it. We'd love to talk about it. Give us some ideas on some upcoming episodes. But until next time, stay safe. Enjoy these last few dog days of summer, and stay nerdy.